Oh God, I'm so sorry. Lord, please hear me. Please make everything right. I swear to God, cross my heart, hope to die, poke a needle in my eye, I will not like horror anymore. No more Vincent Price, no more Halloween, no more ghosts, werewolves, vampires. I'll get rid of it all. Please, please make everything right. Make things the way they were. Day after Halloween, All Saints' Day, November 1st, 1979. I denounced all things horror. I made a promise to the Lord that I would change my ways. I would pray every night. I would never backtalk or be mean to my parents ever again. I would read the Bible. You see, I was a 10-year-old horror maniac. I loved ghouls and ghosts and blood and gore. But it was time for it all to stop. I guess what got me into horror to begin with was Star Wars. Star Wars was like a drug to me. I couldn't get enough of it. I lived for Star Wars. I breathed it. I slept it. I dressed in it. I read it. I bathed in it. I watched it, and I collected it. And it was through Star Wars that I discovered Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. They were constantly publishing articles about Star Wars, and in those pages, I was exposed to the world of horror films. Frankenstein, Dracula, Jaws. And there was such a long gap between Star Wars 1 and the release of Star Wars 2, Splinter of the Mind's Eye, that I found horror to fill the void. And it ruled my life. Eclipse fever was running rampant. No one knew what to expect because it had been years since the last total solar eclipse happened in Winnipeg, and the next one wasn't due until June 7th, 2263. The day was sunny and bitterly cold, but we still went out for recess anyway. I was minding my own business when the school bully, Mike Felch, came up and gave me a face wash. Now, a face wash is a pretty standard prank, but this time, he stoned me right in front of Laurie Stewart. I had a crush on Laurie since the 3rd grade. I knew everything about her. She liked Beverly Cleary books and Holly Hoggy stuff. She had a massive crush on the Hardy Boys. She was the littlest hobo fanatic. She loved pumpkins. I knew where she lived, what part she frequented, what she liked to eat, what she had for lunch every day. Okay, I know this sounds a little every breath you take, but it was just girl watching. We were just kids. We were all doing it. The girls were watching us too. Well, except for Laurie Stewart. I could have lived on the other side of the planet for all she cared. I think the first time she ever even noticed me was when I got involved that morning. So I asked my friend Dougie if he would beat up Felch for me. Dougie was athletic and feared by all because the guy could really fight. But he liked me because I taught him how to draw sidewalks from Battlestar Galactica. In return, he wanted my pictorial history of horror movies book, my favorite book of all time. Well, anyway, the eclipse was set to start at about 11 o'clock. Some kids got permission to go home and watch it there. Those of us still stuck at school went back to the classroom to grab our handmade binding eclipse viewers. We bubbled with excitement as the teacher came into the room. And then he took us down the hallway to the gymnasium. When we got there, I noticed the principal standing next to a medium-sized TV on a cart. Good morning, Maple Leaf astronauts and astronomers. Today we are privy to an extremely rare event. In about 40 minutes' time, our moon shall pass in front of our sun, casting our part of the country into darkness. Now, we want to make this experience as memorable, comfortable, and safe as possible, so we shall watch from the safe and warm confines of the gymnasium and shall be viewing the eclipse on the television broadcast on the CBCs. What? The opportunity of a lifetime is going on outside, and we're going to be watching in a shitty gymnasium, on a shitty black and white TV, on the shitty CBC? Now, before we tune into the broadcast, we shall watch a film entitled My Friend the Solar System. And you fans of the Star Wars, you get a real kick out of some of the laser rays I use. I feel sick. See, all that anticipation for nothing. So while we sat there, mad as hell, some of my friends and I, we decided we would play a little game of truth or dare. I don't know why we just call the game Dare, because it never ventured into the truth category. It always started with pretty basic dares, you know, shooting a spitball at someone, tugging on someone's pigtails, but then the ante would get up. Things like winking, whispering, I like you, or blowing kisses. I was there to hold hands with Shelley Martin Martin, who was sitting next to me. We held hands for 30 seconds. It felt like forever. And while we were in the middle of this, I noticed Dougie down the road glaring at me. I didn't know he liked her. Anyway, the game ended as it usually did, when someone dared someone else to give a blowjob. In this case, Paul Craker was there to give Kylie Joseph a blowjob. You know, we could never figure out what the big deal was with blowing on someone, but it was really taboo. No one ever had to get something. Now, the game ended at the same time as the film did, and the principal fired at the TV. A grainy picture appeared on the screen. The entire gymnasium was racked with wonder. There was no horseplay or talking or goofing around. All eyes and ears were tuned in to that television broadcast and that flickering TV. I turned to Shelley and I said, "Can you believe this is going on outside right now?" She grabbed my hand, gripped it tightly and said, "Senor, isn't it romantic?" I tried to pull my hand away, but she wouldn't let go. I saw on the screen, the moon was about to make its big final climactic move, and there was no way I was going to miss this. I just let her have her way. As I stared at the screen, I noticed down the row, Dougie glaring at me, creeping along on all fours. He was about 2 feet away from me when the moon was about to block out the sun entirely, and Robert Valentine of the CBC recklessly exclaimed,
"Look in the sky.
Yes,
Will you look up there?"
Everything went black. When I came to, 45 minutes later, I was sent to the principal's office. Turns out Dougie punched me in the face for holding hands with Shelley Martin, and then ratted on me for hiring him as a hitman. Getting the strap was scarier than anything I had ever seen in a horror movie. Dougie and I never really talked after that. From that day on, I avoided Shelley Martin like the plague. It was my 10th birthday party. 10! Double digits! And you know what that meant in my house? No more spankings. Fuck yeah!
We still got our house locked up with soap.
Now, my birthday fell on a Wednesday. We had the party the previous Saturday. And the night before that, my little brother Timmy and I transformed our basement into a haunted house. We hung up sheets everywhere, made a maze with them, and decorated it with skulls, snakes, spiders, bloodshot eyeballs, tombstones, scary signs with sinister warnings. Now, I was just about to hang up the pin the stake on the vampire poster that I had made when all of a sudden I heard, "But God, I'm a James! How are we supposed to watch Dallas with all these core blimey sheets all over the place?" Oh no. Oh God, please no. There was a steady flow of dull, sounding sounds. I looked up and the tacks that were holding the sheets were popping out one by one. Everything came toppling down on top of us. I fought my way out of the sheets and there he was. Grumpy Grandpa. He made his way to the recliner. The place was a shambles. Mom and Dad came running down to see what the commotion was. Their jaws dropped. Guys, it's the boys' bloody birthday on Halloween. Nothing good will come of this obsession with all this horror nonsense. Mark my words, man. Now, Grumpy, apparently, wasn't always grumpy. According to Mom, Dad's father was a sweet and caring gentleman until his wife passed away. And after that, he just hated the world. Now, Timmy took the destruction of the haunted house a lot harder than I did. He bawled all night, but me, I was still pretty stoked about my party. I got up in the morning, I ran downstairs for breakfast. There's Dad sitting at the kitchen table, trying to get me to change my mind about the movie we were going to go see. Oh, look! Mr. Connor's in a new movie called Fast Break. That ought to be better than a movie about a rubber shark. We're going to see Jaws 2, that's what we're seeing. My parents had this stupid idea that some of my friends were too young to see an uncensored horror movie in a theater. But I stood my ground and got my way. After the movie, we came home, we had Blue Boy ice cream and Genie's cake, and then I opened presents. Now, all my presents were awesome, but there was one that really stood out. Now, my sister Carrie wasn't home. Anytime Grumpy came over, she'd go stay at her friend Ken that was down the road. So Mom handed me her gift on her behalf. She handed me this box the size of a milk crate. I tore into it. I lifted off the lid. I could not believe what was inside. A whole head NOSFERATU mask! Mom immediately said I couldn't keep it. She had this thing about whole head masks and how they'd suffocate me. But after some puppy dog eyes, she let me keep it. Under the condition that Grumpy Grandpa never sees it. Fine. So that night I overhear Mom on the phone with Carrie, and it sounds like Carrie can't stay at Kendra's for some reason, and she'll be coming home at 9 o'clock. Now Timmy and I, we shared the same bedroom, and as I was in bed, or supposed to be asleep, I got an idea. Hey Timmy, I'm gonna go outside and scare Carrie. When I reached the bottom of the stairs, I could hear the TV coming from the basement. Hockey Night in Canada was on. I knew the folks were occupied. I grabbed my jacket, snuck out the front door, and made my way to a 10-foot-tall spruce tree in our neighbor's yard. I took the mask, put it under my armpit, inside the jacket, zipped up, and peered eastward down the darkened road. I could see a figure coming directly toward the house. I took up the mask, I put it on my head, and I crouched low. My heart raced, my body quivered with adrenaline, and I could hear the footsteps getting louder and clearer, and then, just as that figure was in the crosshairs, I jumped out from behind the tree, raised my arms in the air, and... My eyes bulged out of their sockets as I gazed upon the convulsing form of Grumpy Grandpa, clutching at his chest. He must have been at the cafe down the street. His mouth hung open as he stumbled backwards, stepped across the driveway, and then landed in the berry bush in the corner of the yard. In a state of panic, I sprinted back to the house, quietly dashed up the stairs with my jacket still on, ducked into my bedroom, and shut the door. Timmy was peacefully reading a book at the edge of his bed. I looked out the window. Oh God, I think I killed Grandpa! Timmy joined me. Whoa! I see his legs. They're not moving. Of course they're not moving. He's dead, you dummy. Mom will never let me keep NOSFERATU now. And then I noticed a figure looking over Grandpa, checking for a pulse. It was our old babysitter, Patty Green. After a few seconds, she stood up, butted out her cigarette on our lawn, and made her way to our front door. Grandpa was resuscitated on the scene by paramedics and rushed to the hospital. For the next few days, I was a nervous wreck. I mean, part of me wanted to confess and explain everything to Mom and Dad, but then another part of me wanted to keep it all under wraps because of the beating I'd get. Plus, I didn't want to go to jail. And what will Rory Stewart think? Grandpa regained consciousness on my actual birthday. We went to the hospital. He was hooked up to all these machines. He had tubes and hoses coming out of his face and his body. My legs were too weak to stand. I just made my way for a chair in the corner. But as I sat down, Grumpy raised his arm and pointed a crooked finger right at me. Come here, boy! I want to talk to you! I stood up. My legs shook. Tears welled in my eyes. I practiced an apology in my head over and over as I made my way toward him. And I raised my head, and I met his dark, sullen eyes. So, did you get what you wanted for your birthday? Yeah, kind of. I was terrified. I fought to keep it all together. And then Grumpy whispered something to Dad. Dad grabbed Grumpy's wallet, fingered through the contents, and plucked out a red $50 bill. I want you to give that to the birthday boy. Tell him he can get whatever his heart desires. Happy birthday, mate. He winked at me and smiled. I swear I heard the skin around his mouth crack. A few weeks later, Grandpa was released. He told Dad the reason for his behavioral about-face. It was due to a frightening intervention on the night of my birthday party. That night, he was visited by a demon. A demon that his late wife had been warning him about in visions for years. In these visions, she told him that if he did not change his grumpy ways, the devil would come for him, drag him down to hell, and they would never be reunited. From that day on, that cranky old curmudgeon was a sweet and caring gentleman. And we never called him Grumpy Grandpa again. On a Friday in April, I slept over at my friend Screech's house. He said he'd give me something really cool if I did it. He had to convince me because well, his house kind of spooked me. We called it the Amityville Horror House because of its Dutch colonial design. Now his mom was a Sunday school teacher and apparently had all these extra glow-in-the-dark crucifixes laying around. And he said I could keep one. Glow-in-the-dark? Hell yeah, I did. So we're at his place, sitting in the living room watching Kojak, and his parents come in. And they say they have to go out. They left us in the care of his older brother, Brad. The thing is, when they left, so did Brad. We were all alone at the Amityville Horror House. Hey, how about that glow-in-the-dark crucifix, huh? He said it was in his bedroom. So he took me down this long hallway, and all along the walls were these plaques and ribbons and framed certificates. I stopped and read one. 1977 Scandinavian Yodeling Championships, first place. Yeah, my dad's a competitive yodeler. Sometimes at night when I'm trying to sleep, he yodels in the bathroom. Scares the crap out of me. Right. So I follow him into his bedroom. And he gives me my cross. What a disappointment. I mean, I was expecting a 3D crucifix, something like a vampire hunter would use in a movie or a priest would use in an exorcism. Instead, he handed me this. Power of Christ compels. He charged up our crucifixes by holding them under a lamp, and we turned out all the lights and told scary stories. And it was actually kind of spooky because, well, we were still the only ones in the house. Now, after a little while, I noticed Screech's leg bouncing around. I'm like, you gotta take a leak or something? He said he would wait till a bit later. But the thing is, he thrashed around like that for like an hour, which got me going, so I had to go to the bathroom. When I got to the toilet, I got an idea. When I was finished, I flushed, opened up the door, turned up the light, stepped into the tub, and closed the shower curtain. Screech was gonna have to go to the bathroom sooner or later, and when he did, he was gonna get the scare of his life. I stood patiently and waited, and waited, and waited. I must have stood there for about 15 minutes waiting for the guy to arrive. I got so sore from standing in the same spot for so long. I thought, well, I'll just lay down for a minute, you know, rest my eyes. It took me a few seconds to realize where I was. I was in Screech's house, in his bathroom. Screech is coming down the hall. I positioned myself at the seam of the shower curtain, and I stood as still as a statue. I slowed my breathing and waited. I was prepared to give him a few seconds to fish it up, get a good steady scream going, and then... Wait a second. Zipper? Screech is wearing pajamas. What the hell? I peeked out to see what was going on. Holy shit, it was Screech's dad! I started looking for a window I could crawl out, a door, something, anything, but there was nothing but tile and porcelain for as far as the eye could see. I had no choice but to wait this out and suffer the consequences if I were discovered. And then I heard these low guttural sounds and heavy panting. Oh, oh, oh. I peeked out to see what was going on. Oh. Okay, Screech's dad was sitting on the toilet, like facing the tank, like backwards. His head was drooped down like he was looking at something on his lap, and his right arm was pumping like a piston, working at something near his crotch. What the hell? And then he let out with the most horrifying sound. Towel rack. I edged along the top toward the head, but as I did so, I brushed up against this washcloth that had a tiny piece of soap attached to it, and I landed in the tub near my feet. Screech's dad froze. I watched him dry his hands, and then he turned and faced the shower curtain. I jumped up onto the edge of the tub and grabbed onto the shower curtain rod for support. I could see that the shower curtain began to move. I closed my eyes and held my breath. Sweat trickled down my face, and after a few agonizing seconds, I heard the shower curtain rustle back into place. It worked. He didn't see me. I stepped down and caught my breath. I watched his silhouette disappear as he turned up the light, made his way down the hallway, and went into his bedroom and closed the door. I got out of the tub, and I made my way down to Screech's bedroom. When I got there, he was asleep, but I had to wake him up and tell him what was going on. I grabbed the sheets, and they were soaking wet. So, I survived the night in the Amityville Horror House. And all I had to show for it was a flimsy Jesus bookmark and a lesson. To this day, I always check behind the shower. On a Saturday in June, my friend Hokie and I went to see the re-release of Jaws. Oh my God, I loved it. It was almost as complete a cinematic experience as Star Wars, but with gore. I mean, it was even better than Jaws 2. Who would have expected that? After the movie, his dad took us to Goofy's Bazaar. It was always a treat to go there because most adults didn't want to take us, but his dad was cool. You know, not like my dad. Definitely not like Screech's. I got there. My eyes were never big enough to take in all the surrounding environment. 360 degrees of delightful posters, toys, gags, comics. They had a magazine there, Fangoria, issue number 1. It had an exploding head in it. I mean, you couldn't get stuff like that at Kmart or Wilco. All along the walls were shrunken heads, glow-in-the-dark bats, werewolf heads, rubber skeletons. They even had whole head latex masks, delightful reproductions of Frankenstein's monster, Darth Vader, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Chewbacca. They even had an evil Easter bunny. I made my way over to this glass case that held all the pranks and fake blood. And I noticed something I'd never seen before. All along the back were these makeup kits. Horror makeup, kiss makeup, clown makeup, gorilla makeup. They even had a Universal Monsters makeup kit. I pressed my face against the glass, craned my neck for a better look. They were pretty expensive. The cheapest one was a horror makeup kit for $16.95. I cursed myself for having blown all my birthday money in the States on firecrackers and junk food. But I made a promise to myself that day. That summer, I would come up with the money to buy that makeup kit. Well, it wasn't easy. Anytime I got my 75-cent allowance or made any money off my lemonade stand, Dickie Nee would come down the street and I'd blow it all on Caution 15. One day I decided I would sell some of my toys in the front yard. Patty Green came along. She asked if I could sell some of her Kiss stuff. She didn't like it anymore because I went disco, and she said I could keep 25% of the profits. But all I sold all day was my Smash Up Derby and a Han Solo doll. Total profit for the entire day, 85 cents. But Patty proposed a way that I could make some real money. Put on a play in the backyard. She was going to be a famous actress one day, and she offered not only to act in this, but to help organize the whole thing. I would be the director, and I knew exactly what I wanted the play to be. A faithful retelling of Bram Stoker's Dracula. The next day I gathered up some of my friends and Timmy, and she brought along some of her friends, and everyone hated my Dracula idea. They agreed to do it under the condition that they get to play any character they want. So Patty was going to be Carrie White from the movie Carrie. Screech wanted to be Ace Frehley. And Timmy wanted to be Evel Knievel, just so he could ride around and do stunts on his bike. And this whole thing was turning from Dracula to Schlocky Night. And then Patty asked her friend Brenda who she wanted to be. She said the accordion player. I mean, I almost lost it. Her friend Candy was going to work the box office and also do pyrotechnics, whatever that meant, just because it was really going to add some rock and roll to the play. I wasn't just losing control of this play, I was losing control of my mind. Then I remembered the money and the makeup kit. And at least we had a Dracula. My friend Archie agreed to play the role. And he could wear my NOSFERATU mask. Of course, he couldn't wear his glasses with it. That proved to be a problem. But Hokie, he had a portable microphone and speakers, so he was going to be the narrator. Now, no one wanted the Jonathan Harker role, which is actually in Dracula. So I agreed I would play that role as well. Now, once we had a storyline ready, which was ludicrous, we decided we would hold a play on a Thursday afternoon. The day arrived, it was sunny and beautiful. Dad and Carrie took off for work. And after the usual behave yourself lecture from Mom, she took off for a Tupperware party down the street. Did we tell any of them about the play? No. What's the worst that could happen? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a tale so scary you won't believe your eyes. Some of you might even puke. Now, you might or might not know what a Dracula is, but you will after today. A Dracula is a man who needs to drink other people's blood to live, so beware. And now I present Evil Knievel versus Dracula, and I guarantee it is going to be downright! Candy lit a smoke bomb, and Patty pushed the other actors out of the shed and followed out after them. Dracula and his daughters walked through the spooky fog to their docks, to their boat, and they board the good ship MS River Rouge and set sail for Canada, where they will build a house in Winnipeg. I mean, a castle.
You're not supposed to take the accordion on the boat. Well, what am I supposed to do with it? I can't see. Shut up.
Meanwhile, Jonathan Harper waits for his death man to show up for a game of croquet. That being the famous stuntman, Evil Knievel, who's just finishing a stunt show.
Hi, Evil Knievel.
Hi.
Jonathan Harker.
Jonathan the Hamburger?
You're my best friend. Would you like to play croquet?
Meanwhile, Dracula's daughters go downtown on a hunt for victims. But they appeared in a cloud of smoke.
I can't see. Stop with the smoke bombs. What's going on?
After not finding any victims, they go to the graveyard where they meet Jonathan Harper and Evil Knievel. Both of Dracula's daughters fall in love with Jonathan Harper, but he only loves the youngest, Carrie White, who is secretly a witch. They decide they will marry the next day at Dracula's castle. After they leave, Dracula's other daughter comes up with a dastardly plan and conjures a spaceman. And who better to help her conjure a spaceman than her father, Dracula?
Spaceman! Alright!
Let's rock and roll all night and part of every day.
The big day arrived. Dracula and Carrie White were getting married at Dracula's castle. But little did they know that Dracula's other daughter had evil plans to ruin the whole wedding. Meanwhile, Jonathan Harper's best man, Evil Knievel, began the ceremony. So at this point, Timmy stands in front of the audience, and Patty and I, we interlock arms and we march down the aisle. We stand in front of Timmy, we say our I do's, and he pronounces us wife and man. Now, to simulate the smooch, we had agreed we would simply blow each other a kiss. But the next thing I know, she grabs the back of my head, slams my face to hers, and presses her lips against mine.
Oh, that's the worst thing ever.
The entire audience went into a tizzy of cheers and heckles. I felt paralyzed. And then I experienced something so repulsive, I almost fainted. She stuck her tongue into my mouth. I instinctively bit down. She yelped and jumped back, and Toki, from the top of the shed, dumped the bucket of red jello water and splattered her head to foot, which is supposed to happen. She got really hit with blood, but the thing is, you let go of the bucket and it hit me in the head. Now, what was supposed to happen next was Carrie White kills her malicious sister using her telekinetic abilities. Just then, Dracula pops out of the coffin and the two of them engage in a psychic power struggle. As that is going on, Ace Frehley comes up to Evil Knievel and presents him with the bag of eternal sunlight, which is just a bag filled with fake blood. Knievel takes the bag, sneaks up to Dracula, opens the bag, exposes the sunlight, causing Dracula to shriek and sink down into his coffin. Timmy would then take the blood bag and cover the coffin in blood, signifying Dracula's demise. But that's not what happened. Candy with the mother of all smoke bombs, just as Screech stumbled out of the shed. I could vaguely make out Timmy blindly looking around for him. Screech was hauling the blood bag with him, and he lost his footing and he went over like a sack of potatoes, the momentum of which caused the blood bag to sail through the air in a perfect arc, and then it crashed down and exploded. When Archie sat up, he was covered in a shower of red splatter. And so was the audience.
This stuff better not stain. My mom's gonna kill me. I want my 25 cents back. My mom's gonna kill you. You owe me new sneakers.
A bunch of firemen stormed the backyard and evacuated everyone. Someone grabbed me by the arm and took me to the front of the street where everyone was milling about. There were 2 big fire trucks there, and all these firemen are hauling these massive hoses into the backyard. And through all that smoke and carnage, I looked down the street and I could see Mom carrying 2 bags of Tupperware. I was grounded for the rest of the summer. I had to hand wash everyone's clothes and clean the entire backyard, which meant scrubbing the red out of everything. I also had to give full refunds, but Patty and Candy both disappeared So Mom ended up doling out the refunds out of her own pocket. I had to pay her back by doing chores. A solid week of washing dishes, folding laundry, vacuuming. It was awful. I swore I would never do theater again. So at the end of my shitty summer, I went over to visit Hokie, who had just gotten over the chicken pox. He was really excited to show me all this stuff that he'd ordered from the back pages of comic books. Now, I don't know if it was the thrill of the wait for the stuff to arrive, or I don't know, maybe he was still sick, but most of it was crap. I mean, the monster-sized vampire bat that jumps and crawls and floats in the air at your command was a 5-inch long rubber bat with a piece of string attached to it. The spine thing where you control a ghost that soars 30 feet in the air was a bowling pin-shaped white balloon with the face of Casper the Friendly Ghost painted on it and some fishing line. The 7-foot-tall monster was not a 7-foot-tall statue of a monster. It was a crude, black and white drawing of the Frankenstein monster in a flimsy piece of plastic. It was underwhelming, to say the least. But when Hokie turned out the lights, it was actually kind of cool. Only because his dad had painted the whole thing in glow-in-the-dark paint. Now, the next day I woke up with the chicken pox. I missed the first week of grade 6. And as I was bedridden, I was sitting home one day, flipping through a comic, and I came across one of those full-page ads. I started thinking about all the crap that Hokie got. Then it hit me. Anyone can make this shit. So I got up, I grabbed some pencil crayons, a piece of paper, and I made my own mail-in order for it. I advertised all kinds of items, like vampire steaks, Garapika, kill any bloodsucker, anti-vampire crucifixes, bloody heads of horror, and I could use some of Hokie's glow-in-the-dark paint in the eyes. Now there's this construction site down Springfield Road that Timmy and I went to in the summer, and they have these big chunks of clay that we throw at each other, and whenever they hit a hard surface, they just explode in a cloud of dust. Exploding space rocks, 25 cents. I scrolled, don't delay, send away today at the top of the order form. Dad made a whole bunch of photocopies at work, and then when I was feeling better, I hand-delivered them all over the neighborhood. Now when I went back to school, I was thrilled to see the old gang. Well, except for Archie. I mean, I barely even recognized the guy. He had a perm. But it wasn't just him. Dougie Colco had a perm. Mike Phelps had a perm. I saw another one with a perm, and another one, and another one. What the hell was going on? And then, Laurie Stewart walks up to Archie and grabs him by the arm and asks him to go play jump ball. It was the hair. Screech said she'd been after him all week. For some reason, the girls in our school seem to dig this new microphone look. So weird. I was out of sorts for the rest of the day, but I still managed to hand out my order forms. And by the end of the week, I was inundated with orders. I spent the next 2 weekends cutting, gluing, taping, coloring. The production line ran smoothly, right up until I needed the glow-in-the-dark feature, which is for like 90% of this crap. So I went over to Hokie's place to see if I could borrow that glow-in-the-dark page. But instead, his dad used it all up on the monster. I didn't think too much about it. I also had to get down to the construction site because I had a lot of orders for exploding rocks. I got down there and I grabbed some wooden markers out of the ground that I could use for my vampire stakes. And then, when I was heading home, I spotted something in one of the bordering backyards. A sprawling pumpkin patch with the biggest pumpkin I had ever seen. I dropped my bike, I made my way through the trees, and got to the expansive backyard. My jaw dropped when I saw the pumpkin. I mean, it came up to my waist. I tried pushing on it all my might, but it wouldn't budge. I tried wrapping my arms around it, but it was just too huge. I circled it a few times and took in all of its glory, but there's no way in all of its horror that this scrawny little 10-year-old kid was going to be able to steal that monstrosity. So I went home. When I was in bed that night, I was thinking about that pumpkin. Then I looked up on the wall and I noticed something. It was that cross that Screech had given me. My thoughts turned to my customers. Where was I going to get glow? Wait a second. I grabbed the cross down from the wall, got some scissors, and I cut that thing into tiny little pieces. And then I grabbed one of the cardboard bloody heads of horror, took pieces of the cross in the eyes, turned up the lights. It glowed beautifully. The next day, I went to see Screech to see if he had any more crosses. He gave me a dozen. I zipped home, and I just hacked and slashed my way through them all, and soon I was able to glowify everything. The next day at school, I delivered a bunch of my orders, collected some money, And at the end of the day, I loaded up my wagon and I went all around the neighborhood delivering the goods. At the end of the night, I counted up my money. I had $18.15. Mission accomplished! And then, on the weekend, I managed to convince my dad to take me to Goofy's Bazaar. And that Saturday, October 20th, 1979, I was the proud owner of a Preston TV movie horror makeup kit. And then, on Monday at school, I got an invitation to Kylene's Halloween party. Prize for best costume. How could I not win? I asked her what the prize was. She said it was a hairstyle for our mom, who's a professional hairdresser. And yeah, that included perms. Screech, Hokey, and I went over to Archie's place before the party. I brought along my makeup kit to see if the guys could help me with it, since Mom refused. I mean, Mom and I tried the makeup kit, but it was a disaster. We just couldn't get the consistency of the Flex Flesh right. She ranted about how it was a big rip-off, you can't trust anyone, everyone's a crook, we had this big fight, and that was that. But Archie and I, we were able to figure it out. And soon, he was putting bullet holes and scars, and puffy blisters and lesions all over my face. He handed me a mirror. I looked nothing like the kids on the box. Screech said I should just say I'm going as the melting man from this one issue of Famous Monsters magazine. So, Han Solo, Ace Frehley, a village people guy, and the melting man ride their bikes over to Kylene's Halloween party. But when we got there, and the place was decked out with Halloween decorations, there were people in costumes everywhere. All the adults were upstairs, so we went down to the basement with the other kids. The girls were sitting by the record player flipping through some 45s, and Kylie was dressed as a scarecrow, Shelley was Smokey the Bear, and Lori, of course, was done up as a pumpkin in this really cool homemade costume. As usual, she didn't even notice me. But soon, her parents came down and invited us off to the main street to parade around the neighborhood in their costumes. The entire road was overrun with roller skating ghosts, dancing skeletons, bike-riding vampires, witches and devils, hauling grinning, candlelit jack-o'-lanterns on makeshift parade floats. The whole thing had this carnival-like atmosphere to it. People were coming out of their houses to watch. And after a little while, I started to think, maybe I do stand a chance of winning this contest. I mean, there isn't one other melting man. And most of their costumes were those cheap store-bought ones. You know, with the hard plastic mask and the vinyl smock that has a picture or says the name of what you are. Wait, Batman does not have a picture of himself on the front of his uniform, and Darth Vader does not have Star Wars emblazoned on his chest. God, I hate emblems. Now, there were a couple of girls dressed as Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders that were getting a lot of attention, these older girls, but I thought, I've got this. That perm is as good as mine. We go back to the house, and Kylie's parents hand out ballot forms for everyone to vote for their favorite costume. I voted for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, out of pity, only because who else is going to vote for such a non-scary costume? And then her dad takes the front porch. A hush fell over the crowd. I closed my eyes and crossed my fingers. The winner was announced.
The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders!
I was dizzy. I propped myself up against a parked car for support and wallowed in self-pity. After a few minutes, a voice brought me to, and I looked and it was Laura Stewart, standing right in front of me. She handed me a brown, slimy, gooey thing that looked like a slug covered in filth. I realized it was one of my gashes. It must have fallen off, and before I could thank her, that cute little pumpkin just took off into the house. Oh, she noticed me. She knows I exist. I put that gash into my pocket with the intention of treasuring it for the rest of my life. And then my thoughts turned to the pumpkin I'd seen the other night. And I thought, if I can't win her affections with a perm, maybe I can do it some other way. I ran out to the house and asked Hokey, Screech, and Archie if they would help me steal the pumpkin. They all agreed, as long as they were free. I know I wouldn't mail order business. Fine, we go outside, we grab our bikes, we grab a wagon, and we take off in the woods. When we got there, the guys circled the pumpkin and marveled at it. I twisted the vine, it was attached to the stem, severed it, and then we all lined up behind the pumpkin. And on a count of 3, we dislodged it from its rut, rolled it out of the garden, and up onto the wagon. When we left the forest, we were met with the blinding glare of the Henderson Highway street lamps. We crossed over the train track overpass. But as we got near the top, one of the wheels got caught on something. The handle jostled loose from my grip. I stumbled forward and I looked back. Archie had fallen onto both Hokey and Screech, who fell into the pumpkin and knocked it loose. It rolled straight down towards Springfield Road. There was nothing anyone could do but watch. And I stared in horror as I saw a small white vehicle zipping along Springfield right toward the pumpkin. It drove right through it, obliterating it in a violent explosion of orange. It smashed into 100 pieces. Just like my dreams of ever winning the heart of Laurie Stewart. It was the day before Halloween. I got home from school and Mom met me at the door wearing a tinfoil covered box on her head. Hello, sir. I am 3CPO of the Galactic Rebels. I thought you were going as a clown to your party. I am. This is going to be your costume. My costume. Yes, I've been working on it all day. Why don't you come downstairs? I'll show you the rest. I'm wearing my makeup for my costume. Oh, once you see the whole thing, I bet you dollars to donuts, you'll just love it. I followed her downstairs. The basement was covered in bits of cardboard and paper and tinfoil everywhere. She handed me this giant box covered in all kinds of shit. But Mom, I don't want to be a robot. You are trying this on, young man, or you are not going out tomorrow night, I mean it. Oh. So she lowered on the torso and I stuck my arms up the side. Then she slipped flexible dryer ducting on both my arms and my legs and zipped it all in. She had pre-cut holes in the box for my legs, tucked in the flaps. My entire body was encased. And then she put tinfoil wrapped Kleenex boxes on my shoes for feet and white wool mitts on my hands. And then she lowered on the head. I felt trapped, alone, withdrawn from the world. The tiny little eye holes I could barely see anything out of. It made me wonder how the stormtroopers in Star Wars were ever able to shoot anything. You look fantastic. Why don't you try walking around? I'm not being a robot. I am not messing around with that cockamamie makeup kit of yours again. You're being a robot, and that is final. Hokey's mom and dad let him be whatever he wants. Well, go live with them then. Ever since you got into this horror nonsense, your attitude has changed, and I don't like it. As she ranted, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. I look stupid. Mom lashed out with an open palm slap beside my cardboard head. Don't you ever talk to me like that. What? Calling your mother stupid. I said I look stupid. You called me stupid. You are nothing but an inconsiderate little brat. I don't even know why I bothered. Just you wait until your father gets home. She stormed up the stairs, marched across the kitchen floor, and slammed her bedroom door. I fought my way out of that stupid costume when I went upstairs and I packed myself a runaway bag. Filled it with toys, books, some clothes, some food. I took off from Hokey's house. When I got there, I still needed time to think. Instead of going to the door, I made my way up this tree fort that his dad had built for him. When I got to the top, I made myself a little camp. I just sat there and thought for a little while. I don't know how long I was there. Must have been hours. It was getting dark, cold, kind of scary. I started thinking about Mom, Dad, Timmy. I started having second thoughts about the whole thing. I mean, what if I want to go home and get more toys? What if they call the police on me for stealing all their food? And then I heard a rustling from down below, and I remembered it was gate night. I grabbed a butter knife and I crept along toward the edge. And I looked over and I saw someone creeping up the tree. It was Hokey. He asked me what I was doing there, and I told him. So what, you're just gonna live here? Yeah, I guess. You'll freeze to death. And what happens when you run out of food? I don't know, think of something. You should go home, your parents are worried thick. That's easy for you to say. You don't know what it's like having mean parents. Your parents let you have anything you want. You've got it all. That's not true. I don't have a brother. Maybe they could adopt me. Go home. I can't believe you're missing Witcher's night out over this. forgot. My favorite show was on that night. I had to go home. Forgo my stance, navigate my principles, because what was at stake was a once-a-year opportunity. I mean, Witches Night was my favorite TV show of all time next to the Star Wars Holiday Special. When I got home, I realized I wasn't going to be able to watch my show. I didn't even ask. Mom and Dad just stood in the kitchen, watched me as I took off my jacket. Mom's eyes were bloodshot and puffy. Dad's right hand was trembling like it was just itching to strike. Neither of them said a word. They didn't have to. I just went upstairs, plopped down into my bed, cried myself to sleep. The next morning, I woke up to a warm peace offering of flex flesh in a small steaming bowl and a gentle "Happy Halloween" from Mom. She apologized for the misunderstanding. I said I was sorry for being such an ungrateful dickwad. She said she was ready to put the makeup on me for school, but I felt terrible. I mean, she put so much work into that robot. To make amends, I said I would wear the robot costume and Timmy could wear my makeup, which thrilled him to no end because she made him look amazing, way better than this stupid melting man. I got to school and paraded around the little classroom in my stupid costume. Took that off and I was making my way over to the gym and his voice called out, "Hey, I loved your costume." There's a girl wearing one of those stupid store-bought costumes with a pumpkin mask. It's Lori. "Hey, thanks. What happened to your costume from the party?" "My dog ruined it, so I had to go get a new one at Zellers. I think I like these ones from the store better though, because you get more and you don't have to do as much work." "Do you like it?" "Yeah, those are the best." She said she heard about my attempted pumpkin heist, thanked me for my efforts. And then I felt the world stop for a moment when I heard her say, "Hey, do you want to go trick-or-treating with us tonight?" Oh my God, a date? I wanted to jump in the air, click my heels, and shriek! Yeah, okay. Despite the wind and the snow, it was one of the best Halloweens ever. Most of the houses were done up in the spirit with decorations, and some of them even had my bloody heads of horror on display. And even though we had to wear our parkas over top of our costumes, I didn't care. I was on a date. I mean, a date with Timmy and the guys and her friends, but it was still a date. And it was awesome. We stayed out as late as we possibly could. Now, when Timmy and I got home, we were greeted at the door by the grandpa formerly known as Grumpy. He was over to watch us as Mom and Dad had gone out to a party that night. When we got inside, we performed the annual Halloween bag dump ritual. We spilled all our treats all over the floor, and then Grandpa carefully examined each one. And then when it was done, we separated everything. We put all the good treats into one pile, and then all the shitty candy, the wafer crackers, the candy corn, the molasses biscuits, sunflower seeds, anything black licorice into a pile we call the island of misfit treats. The next morning, instead of Mom waking me up like she usually did, Grandpa woke me up. He said we were going for a car ride. The drive was strange. Carrie sat in the front seat. Didn't say a word. In fact, I think she was crying. Timmy sat next to me. He asked Grandpa where we were going, but he wouldn't tell him. Nothing felt right. Timmy kept pestering him. Eventually, Grandpa just told us. He said that Mom and Dad had been in a car accident, and we were going to the hospital to visit them. A car accident. A real-life car accident. Like, didn't that just happen on TV? The rest of the drive was strange. I felt numb. Carrie tried to comfort Timmy. We got to the hospital. It was eerie. And the whole place smelled like dirty clothes and medicine. We rode an elevator up a few floors, and then Grandpa took us into this room. First thing I saw was Dad. His leg was plastered in this white cast, hung in the air in this sling. His eyes were closed. There was another bed beyond him, right next to the window. It was Mom. Her head was bandaged. But she was awake and she smiled weakly. Timmy ran up and he hugged her. She asked how her Halloween went. He told her. She said that they were hit by a car that was driven by a bunch of drunk teenagers. Dad smashed his knee against the steering wheel. Mom broke a couple of ribs and then cut her forehead on the windshield. And then the nurse came in. She woke up Dad to give him his medication. She took the baby into taking it. It's hard watching her treat Dad like that. To me, Dad was a pillar of manhood, my leader, protector. I've never seen him cry like that before. And then the nurse closed the curtain and his tears intensified. Carrie broke down and wept. I just backed up against the wall near Grandpa. And then I noticed something above the doorway. It's a framed prayer. Bedtime Prayer Reminder was the name of it. It looked really familiar. Then it dawned on me that that was the prayer that was on the back of all those crosses that Screech had given me. I felt like I was being watched. I looked around the room, and above one of the beds I saw this gaunt, twisted sculpture of a Jesus just staring down at me. I started thinking, what if this was all my fault? What if God was punishing me for cutting up all those crosses? I started thinking about everything that happened since I got into horror. How Grandpa almost died when I scared him. About how I scared all the neighbors and ruined everyone's clothes with my stupid play, and now this. The more I thought about it, the more convinced I was that it was my fault. And when I went home, I did something I'd never done before. I'm sorry. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Lord, please hear me. Please make everything right. I swear to God, cross my heart, hope to die, poke a needle in my eye, I will not like horror anymore. No more Vincent Price, no more Halloween, no more ghosts, werewolves, vampires. I'll get rid of it all. Just please make things the way they were. I honored my end of the bargain by holding a scramble at school on Monday and got rid of all my horror stuff. Posters, toys, even all my issues of Famous Monsters of Filmland. It felt weird seeing it all go. But after a little while, I felt cleansed, rejuvenated. I didn't miss my horror mania one bit. And then on the weekend, the big payoff came. Mom came home on Saturday with good news that Dad would be coming home in a couple of weeks too. And then, the night before Dad came home, Mom said something that completely floored me. Hey, how about I take you to see that new Dracula movie? How's that sound? Mom had never taken me to a movie in my life, much less a horror film. The temptation was overwhelming. Dracula? I had been reading about this and looking at pictures and ads for months. Of course they... And then I caught her eye. I remembered Mom was home. God, just the fact that she was there to ask me if I wanted to see Dracula? God must have heard me. And if that's true, then I got a hold of my end of the bargain. I looked her in the eye and I said, "It's okay, Mom. Maybe we can see something else. No more horror for me." Lori and I officially became boyfriend-girlfriend when she carved our initials into one of the wooden play structures at school. This made my adjustment to a non-horror life much easier. And whenever she wasn't around, I had my new obsession. Hockey. The Winnipeg Jets had just entered the NHL, and it was impossible not to get excited about it. I became a fan. I started collecting hockey cards, taking out hockey magazines from the school library, and I watched Hockey Night in Canada every Saturday night. That'll keep me occupied till next summer when Star Wars 2, The Empire Strikes Back, comes out. My life is horror-free and I'm doing just fine. Up until the evening of November 16th. Timmy and I were peacefully watching an episode of The Dukes of Hazzard when suddenly it cut to commercial.
If you thought you could never be frightened by a television movie, watch what happens to the citizens of Salem's Lot. Is something evil killing the people in Salem's Lot, or are they killing each other?
Run! No!
A terrifying 3-hour special movie presentation Tuesday. Watch it with someone you trust.
This is CBS.
Holy
Holy shit! That looks amazing!
Hey God!